What's up, everybody? Welcome to Enliven Wellness. It's Tessa Gurley and Pax Gurley. And we are here tonight to tell you about the most important health supplement that you need to get on right now. And it's so cheap. In fact, it's free. So, thank you to everyone who is watching live on the live play and everyone who's watching on the replay. Thank you for being here. It is a balmy, it was 102 degrees here today in San Antonio. My hair is looking, well, it's bigger, everything's bigger in Texas, y'all. That except for my boobs. Anyway, okay, so I had to say that, just joking. Anyway, I know it was inappropriate. I'm sorry I couldn't help myself. I have a little bit of a dirty mind, but I'm also really pumped because I am so excited to talk about this supplement that y'all, let me tell you about it. You all already have access to it. It's free. It's the #1 way to change your physiology, and it's responsible for every reaction that takes place in your body. And no matter what food you eat, no matter what water you drink, no matter what friggin' supplements you take, if you don't have this, you're not gonna feel good. So, what is this supplement that I am talking about? Breath! Not just air, but breath. I am super pumped to talk about this topic. I'm not going to go into extreme details tonight because I, again, had to make a decision about 3 weeks ago. If y'all haven't seen my videos, I'm not going to talk about a lot of the health practices that I engage in or supplements that I take too publicly, not because I want to withhold information, but because I don't want this information getting into the hands of people who could possibly take these things off the market and or ban videos on YouTube for talking about these things. Okay, so again, I will be doing a series of live streams talking about these things, but I'm going to delete them after they've aired. So no one will be able to watch on the replay. So I wanted to give this kind of like, forecast to y'all that I will be doing live streams on this particular breathing technique that I'm really a fan of lately, but I'm going to delete them right away. So make sure that you don't miss my live streams. And these live streams will be happening closer to 12:30 p.m. Central Time. I know that's a little bit late for some people. I'll try to get on earlier if I can. But just know that like I will be talking about this breathing technique, and I will be leading like more, I'll be giving a little bit more detailed information on live streams, but they're going to be deleted right away, so that they don't go into the internet space and then get into the hands of somebody who has ulterior motives. But I will discuss today the importance of breathing and why you should really give a lot of focus and attention to your breath. In fact, during this live stream, you're going to see me pause a couple of times to catch my breath through my nose. Because I have the habit, and we all have the habit, of talking too much. I mean, I love talking, but I love listening too. But we will talk and then we breathe through our mouth. And that's a big no-no. So, why is breath so important? Allow me to start by explaining that your body, within your body, every moment, there are millions, if not trillions, if not bazillions, I mean, we obviously don't know the exact number of reactions that are going on between your cells, in your cells, all over your body. There are reactions taking place all the time. And tons of reactions taking place It's the breakdown of those reactions. It's when those reactions become less efficient, when they become less powerful, that you run into health problems and disease. Okay, so that's a very, very basic and simplified way of explaining how disease and, illness sets in, is what's called mitochondrial dysfunction, and cellular dysfunction. Okay, so it's your cells dysfunctioning, and it's a loss of energy within your cells. And if you lose energy within your cells, you lose energy within your whole body. And it's like that's a very basic way of explaining illness, disease. Okay? Your breath is responsible for every single one of those reactions to take place. It is the foundation of all the reactions that take place in your body every moment of every day for the rest of your life. So it's a pretty important thing to pay attention to. Now, it is very important not to breathe deeply. I know, you're gonna be like, what? Mind blown. Everyone says take a deep breath in and then a deep breath out. Wrong. Yeah, you heard me. I know Pax just looked up at me like, what? Yeah, deep breath in, deep breath out is not a good idea. Did you know that when they used to train samurais, they put a feather underneath their nose and they made them breathe so softly that the feathers didn't flicker? So instead of deep breath in, deep breath out, I'm going to explain to you all why it's important to breathe soft. Breathe slow. And guess what? Breathe less. Now, I'm going to do a series of these videos. So tonight, I'm going to just kind of lay the groundwork and explain to you why the breath is the most important thing. Get you to see how important your breathing is over all else. Okay? Let me start with a story, because y'all love story time, right? So I'm 9 years old, and I was, let's start. I was 8. Okay, as an 8-year-old child, I was very free, very excited, very free-spirited, really creative, really just full of life. And then I turned 9. And I remember having my first panic attack. I remember being in a room and I started feeling like there was no oxygen in the room. And I remember getting shortness of breath. I remember asking my parents to check my pulse. I remember being... Edward, I shall address that. I remember being very short of breath, having air hunger, feeling like I was about to die, asking my parents to check my pulse. I mean, I was having panic attacks at the age of 9. And since then, shortness of breath and air hunger has been a problem for me. Okay? It has been, as you guys have watched me throughout the years, it's always been one of my number 1 symptoms was shortness of breath, air hunger, trouble taking a breath, not having as great cardio capacity as other people. Even though I was an athlete, I was always like, God, cardio looks so easy for them and it's not easy for me, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand. So flash forward, I found yoga. So I started practicing yoga And there was a particular kind of breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana. And Nadi Shodhana is what's called alternate nostril breathing. And it goes something like this, just very basic. You plug one nostril and you breathe in through the open nostril. You hold the breath in, you plug your nose, you open your alternate nostril, and you breathe out. You then breathe in through the open nostril, plug your nose, and breathe out through the alternate nostril, and then rinse and repeat. Okay? Now, when I was introduced to that breathing technique, I had a lot of anxiety when I had to hold the breath out. So it's my house acres, so I'm going to explain why breathing is even more important than hydration and supplements. So you can be on all the great magnesium you want. You can also be on, I'll lead, you can be on, you can have the greatest water, but if you don't have the greatest breath, it's not going to matter. Yes, sorry to shoot you down, but I'm not shooting you down. I'm just saying, I know that they help, but they're not going to matter if you don't have good breath. So, Edward, yes, I will lead an actual demonstration on Nadi Shodhana, but that's what I was first introduced to. Now, I started having great anxiety when I would be sitting there, and other people seemed like they were just feeling good, right? And I was sitting there and I was like, this guy's wants to panic, right? And, then I started to pay attention to more elongated breath. No, it wasn't that. I was actually having a hard time because of the exhale. I couldn't hold my breath out for very long. I'll explain why this matters in a minute. Go with me on this journey. So I started paying more and more attention to my breathing because I was becoming more and more, interested in yoga and the practice of yoga and all these things. And so I started to do what they normally tell you. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Well, I would feel good, but I didn't feel I didn't feel saturated with oxygen. Let's just say it that way. Does that make sense? Anybody who has breathing problems or air hunger knows what I'm talking about. When you just don't feel saturated with breath. And I, continued my yoga practice. I continued cardio. I continued working out. Okay, so Jackie's got me. And then I got into my yoga teacher training in 2015. And I went through a really intensive year-long yoga teacher training. And we did Nadi Shodhana, and we were told that we had to do Nadi Shodhana every day. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I don't want to do this. It makes me panicky. And my teacher was like, the more you do it, the easier it will get, relax into it. And I noticed that the longer I held my breath out, the better I felt. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I'll explore this a bit deeper. That led me to a particular breathing technique called Buteyko, which I will get into in other videos. Okay, so I'll get into that in different videos. And then I started practicing that, and I was like, oh, this feels really good. And then it kind of just fell by the wayside as I focused more on the physical stuff. Now, I was eating the cleanest diet you can possibly eat. Seriously. I had all my bases covered. I was eating the cleanest diet you could possibly eat. Local grass-fed beef. You name it. Pasture-raised eggs from my neighbors down the street who didn't feed it corn or soy. I was eating... I was ticking all the boxes. And I still had air hunger. Okay? I was drinking the cleanest water. I still had air hunger. I was making sure I was on all the best supplements and all the best supplement regimens, and I still had air hunger. Okay? And So I've recently been feeling a lot better because of, oh my gosh, a couple of different things, which I'll go into in other videos. There's a select amount of supplements. It's been mainly mental and heart conditioning, reconditioning, I guess you could say. That's been at the core of it. But my breath is what has been helping me the most. And if you guys have been following me for a little while, you know that I have sat back and I've like pounded my head and been like, health cannot be this complicated. There's no way we should be needing all of these supplements. You know, there's no way that we should be needing to constantly monitor and manage our health. There's no way that we should be constantly needing to analyze if we're having a reaction to that supplement or to this supplement, or if we need that supplement or this supplement, or if your diet's not clean enough, blah, blah, blah. The freaking insanity that becomes. That's not health, y'all. And unfortunately, like in the functional and integrative world, they're kind of making it feel like that. Oh, like, I mean, if you look at like, I'm not dissing Klinghardt, like I understand that he's a brilliant, brilliant doctor, but to see the regimen that he puts people on just like almost made me cry. Like I was like, there's no way that we should need all this stuff. Like there's just, I just don't, at my core and my deepest part of my heart, I do not feel like we need these complicated protocols in order to be healthy. That is, if that were the case, then humans would have died out way long ago. Because yes, do I acknowledge that the world that we're living in is more toxic than our ancestors? Yeah, but do I believe that our bodies have the capacity to actually handle those kinds of things? Yeah, actually I do. God wouldn't have created this body to not be able to be that complicated. Okay, like it's just something that I have been like screaming at the top of my lungs for the past couple of years. Is just like, health cannot be this complicated. And it turns out that it's not. Your breath, by optimizing your breath and by optimizing the ratio of carbon dioxide to oxygen in your body, everything else falls into place. Everything. Your body will not detox properly, digest properly, repair properly, unless you are breathing properly. Period. Because if you are breathing in a stressed manner, if you have constant air hunger, if you are in a constant state of fight, flight, or freeze, you're not going to be digesting food. You're not going to be repairing tissue. You're sure as hell not going to be detoxing. You're not going to have clear brain function. You're not going to be assimilating nutrients. You're not going to release bile from your gallbladder. You're not going to release pancreatic enzymes from your pancreas to digest carbohydrates and fat. You're not going to have stomach acid to break down protein and food. You're not going to have proper saliva, which is not going to break down the amylase and the protease and the lipase in the food. You're not going to have the protease, lipase, and amylase to break down the carbohydrates, fat, and protein in your mouth when you chew, okay? You're not going to be thinking clearly. You're sure as hell not going to have concentration. What else? You're not going to poop very well. You're going to probably pee a lot more than you need to. You're going to be dehydrated. All of this can be brought back to being in the fight, flight, or freeze state and not being calm, not being in the rest, digest, repair, and connect. And that is dictated by your breath. Period. To give you an idea of the importance of breath, you can go days without water. They have recorded people going a year without food. You can go minutes without breath. Minutes. Now, Edward, when you say it's hard to solve this stressed state, it's actually not. I once thought it was. Simply by altering your breath, you will automatically kick in your vagus nerve, activate your parasympathetic nervous system, start to create more parasympathetic tone, and then things will start to fall into place. Okay, so Clint says, why would you pee a lot? So, when you're in a stressed state, your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys, okay? Your adrenal glands are these little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they release epinephrine and norepinephrine, aka and also cortisol, okay? So when you are, think about like the instance of like right before you're about to give a presentation and you have to pee. Does that happen to anybody else? Like I was always in theater, and like before I went on stage, suddenly it's like, oh my God, I have to pee. Okay, it's because your body's trying to get rid of waste material. It's trying to get rid of weight so that you can run faster from the tiger, or, you know, it's also your adrenal glands have stimulated, and they can stimulate your kidneys to release fluid. So that can also be an issue with vasopressin, Jackie, which can be linked back to, but vasopressin is it's a really important hormone, but this again goes back to being either chronically stressed or vasopressin. I'll make a whole video about vasopressin. Very important hormone. Okay, but for right now, just know that if you are, again, in that stressed state, you're gonna pee and pee and pee and pee. So I'm gonna give you guys a little hint tonight. We'll talk about it more tomorrow night. I'm gonna ask each and every one of you who's willing to perform a small experiment for the next week. And let me tell you this story. I have a client who I've been working with for quite a while, and bless his heart, he's like the best client ever. He does everything that I ask him to do, and he sees the results, lo and behold. But today we had our session, and he was like, this is remarkable. He said, this is absolutely remarkable. The changes that he and I have made, he said, in the past 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, have gotten him further than he's gotten in 10 years. Okay, so I'm very excited to hear that everyone will try. This is great. So Jackie's on board. I'm guessing Ethan's gonna be on board. We've got Jenny. Okay, yeah, so Jackie, I'd love to work with you, girl. I would love it. I'd love to work with anybody who's interested. And again, like, he's like, I am seeing more progress in these past 2 to 4 weeks than I have in 10 years. I was like, literally like jumping up and down. I was like, yes! Okay, so the little experiment I'd like you guys to try might seem a little bit kinky, but I promise you it's not X-rated. Okay, now if you're married, just tell your spouse to just not pay attention to what you're doing. But everyone, go and get some kind of tape and tape your mouth closed overnight when you sleep. I am not crazy. Promise. Okay? Do this. Watch your life change. Okay? And the first night may feel a little bit weird. I was pretty scared, right? I was like, I'm gonna choke, you know, because I knew that I was mouth breathing overnight because I'd wake up with a dry mouth. Okay? But before you go to sleep, tape your mouth closed. And tomorrow night, I'm gonna explain all the things that does for your body. So Edward, I've been working with kinesio tape. I mean, I'm sure you could use duct tape if that's all you got, but oh, Jackie, get ready for some changes, my dear. Okay, so I've been using kinesio tape. Yes, Larry. So, I know, it's air. It's your breath. Okay, everybody, so I challenge you for the next week, I want you to tape your mouth closed when you sleep overnight. Yay, Larry! I'm not sure if you can use Scotch tape. It has to be sticky enough to actually pull your lips closed. But I challenge you all to not change anything else but this for the next week. And then let's do a group check-in. Okay, cool, Larry. Yes, I use my kinesio tape and I just strap it on. Yeah, I don't see why not, Antoinette. I mean, packing tape, I mean, as long as it closes your mouth. And Ethan, no. You can use, you know, like fabric tape that they have for like ace bandages. You can use kinesio tape. Kinesio tape is, yeah, Clint, I was gonna say, I think duct tape should be just fine. You know, I would recommend getting some kind of kinesio tape, like skin tape, you know, just for the future, right? So get some like tape that's suitable for skin eventually, but to start tonight, like just get some tape. Now, Larry, that's exciting, that you have already seen results. But all right, everyone. I know! Yes, Larry! I know! That's so cool that you know. It is a game changer. Like, I wake up in the morning, I mean, I feel so much better. My cardio at the gym is outstanding. I had somebody come up to me yesterday and they were like, there's some dude and they were like, so what workout do you do exactly? And I was like, well, I'm a trainer, I've devised it myself, but it's all about the breath. And he's like, because like you've been doing jump squats for like 45 minutes and you're not winded. And I was like, I know. And he's like, and I'm over there huffing and puffing doing push-ups. It's that cool. Ethan, yes. Mm-hmm. Everyone, tape your mouth shut when you sleep. Yeah, nowadays I'm doing like 45 minutes of a boot camp style workout with like jump squats, lots of jump squats, push-ups, core, mountain climbers. Then I go do squats, I do step-ups, I do the stair climber, I run. It's pretty awesome. And I'm not suffering from that fatigue or like air hunger. So happy taping. And I mean, if you want to be cute, you know, I'm sure you could like tape it and then draw a little heart. But Larry, you can attest to the miraculous. Yes, it does, Ethan. So Larry, can you just quickly tell us, like, it's a game changer? Can you just say it one more time? Because it's just so exciting. It's actually because you decrease your breathing. All right, y'all. Happy taping. And thank you for being here. I will be back tomorrow night to talk more about breathing. I love you. Have a beautiful evening. And if you'd like to work together, please email me at tgirly7@gmail.com and we will get you on this regimen. Yep, Larry, that's awesome! All right, happy taping, everyone. Can't wait to hear how it goes. Oh, hold on. Pax wants to say bye. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here, Larry. That was like super awesome that you tuned in. And thank you to Jackie and Casey and Ethan. And Clint.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
The first night when I put on the tape, this little guy was like trying to bite it off. He was like, "Mommy, that's weird." He was like biting on, he was like trying to pull the tape off my mouth. I was like, no. Oh guys, do you guys want to hear a really funny story just really quick about Pax? It's like hilarious. Do you guys want to hear it? It's pretty hilarious. So, I gave this guy a little bit of almond milk yogurt last night because I checked to see if they could have that, right? So I Googled, can dogs have almond milk yogurt? And they're like, in moderation, right? And yeah, it is the toe biter, Clint. And so I gave him a little bit of this almond milk yogurt, right? And today we were at the car wash and I heard this. I was like, did you fart? I'm like looking at Pax and like, did you fart, dude? Like, and we're in the car wash, so I can't roll down the windows. And he just looks up at me, and then I hear, he farted again. Yeah, well, he proceeded to fart about 10 or 11 times as we were going through the car wash. And I was like stuck in there smelling Pax farts. Yeah, guilty.
And they were stinky.
So little man farted about 10 or 11 times as we were going through the car wash. So no more almond milk yogurt for this one.
It makes him gassy.
You're a farter.
You're a little farter.
So that's my funny Pax story. Yeah, he's a hoot. All right, guys, we're gonna go play. Yeah, he was farting. But they were cute. They were cute little farts, but they were like definitely like SBDs, like the silent but deadlies. So, thank you guys for listening to my funny Pax story. It has nothing to do with taping your mouth shut. Yeah, he's hilarious.
We're about to go get him some dinner. Yeah.
I have him eating a raw diet, which is very exciting. It makes him feel so much better.
Yes, it does.
No more almond milk yogurt for this guy, though. No more gas. What's the supplement, Antoinette? Air. Your breath. You are so welcome, Jackie. It's my pleasure. Thank you for being here. So share this video with your friends and family and on your social media. I love y'all. Have a wonderful night. I'll be back tomorrow night. Tape your mouth shut. Happy taping. Love you.